Hello everyone, this is Katarina and I'll bring you the solar activity and new moon in Virgo energy report and the light language to go with it so you can make the most of these highly accelerated times we're in. And I don't know how you feel, but I felt the last 2 weeks were especially challenging energetically. And when I asked my guides and they said the Lion's Gate has brought so much intensity as we all observed, and it also accelerated the collective clearing, and all of us who are sensitive, we both received that immense acceleration from the Lion's Gate. We tapped into that collective clearing as well as our own going on. And my guides also said the summer solstice, I mentioned that in previous videos, was very much the energy of water, and the Lion's Gate, the energy of fire. So we had that, and we still are in the last remnants of that dynamic between water energy, which is our emotional body, how we feel, our way of dealing with life, and then fire, which is the creativity, which is inspiration, which is sensuality and pleasure, as well as anger and suppressed emotions that can come out rather intently. So we are in this balancing period now between fire and water energy. And my guides really strongly pointed out that this new moon is going to be that final recalibration. And because the new moon is in Virgo, which is an earth sign, and for me, being a Virgo, and I've got 5 things in Virgo, Virgo is in a Virgo and I've got more in it. And Virgo is not necessarily a grounded energy, even though it's an earth sign, it's more a mental grounding. So there's a structure, there's planning and organizing. So whereas Taurus is a very physical, grounded energy, and Capricorn is more, I was going to say, a more career-orientated version of grounding. So the earth energy expresses itself in those 3 signs very differently. And the new moon in Virgo, it's almost like the picture they're giving me, and we are also in September, which later brings in the Libra energy, that air sign, and they're showing me that image of we're finding that inner balance, and the Virgo with the grounding is helping to stabilize the fire-water dynamics. And the new moon as well is a portal where we go again into much higher light. And when I tuned into the new moon, all I could see was white. This, and I mean, here I'm wearing rainbow moonstone, and you see that's always pearlescent, that's rainbow moonstone as well. And there is this milky energy, and it's, the image I had was like a huge snowfall, you know, and I lived many years in Sweden, and sometimes you wake up and there's this massive amount of snow, and it feels amazing, and it feels so magical and clear and pristine and purified, and you feel like anything can happen. And they're saying it's going to be a carte blanche, not only because it's a white card, and it's and that's just coming in right now. They're saying it's an opportunity if you hold your vibration high on that day. And depending on your time zone, it's either the Monday or the Tuesday, the 6th or the 7th, when that's taking place. And it's when you stay attuned and return to that place of, you know, that snowy landscape, or that purity where you feel like everything is possible. For some it may feel like you're connecting with the clouds and then going into the energy of the rainbow, also working with the rainbow bridge. It's an acceleration into higher dimensions. It's a portal into higher realms, into more light frequency. And they're saying, those of you who feel like, oh my God, I don't know if I can take any more light, they're saying it's a softer version of light, whereas the Lion's Gate was really the roar. You know, can you hear my roar? And that, ooh, you know, it's like shaking through, and at times it may felt like it became more of a volcano within. But this one is a softer vibration of higher light. And those of you who work with the white light, with the white golden ascension flame, with ascended masters. Serapis Bay will be highly supportive for those who want to step into that higher frequency. I see a pyramid before me, and that could be Chichen Itza in Mexico, it could be the one in Giza, it could be, there's one in Russia, which is really high angled. So for each and every one, that may be a different portal where you're aligning yourself with and keeping the focus. My guide said, Katerina, don't make a long explanation. It's more, keep it short and simple. And it's like the higher and the lighter, that is what we are orientating us. And they're also explained, and I felt it very strongly too, we've been really extremely triggered in our deepest fears. And some of it has to do with our current situation. Some of it may be deeply, deeply personal. And they said, in a way, they're saying, celebrate that you are massively triggered. That means you're really anchoring that highest timeline. And the more you can see it as these higher frequencies coming in, and they're destabilizing and rattling apart the lower frequencies. And they're said to me, it's in the ley line system, so all over the world, but also in our own light body field and our own grid system. And then we have those new chakras, and it took me a while to figure what's what, and I'm not entirely sure I've got it quite correct. I know one is really close to the stellar gateway, connecting us more easily with higher dimensions. I also feel there's one that directly links us with the crystalline grid, not just the earth star. There's another second chakra that is really the 5D earth reality, and Gaia's coming in. It's like she said, that's a direct line to my heart core, to my consciousness. So that's definitely one. And from what I'm getting, this higher one that I've perceived, but I couldn't quite make sense of it, it's a solar one. And it's not the soul star, it's not the stellar gateway, it's in between but close to the stellar gateway, sometimes even merging with it, amplifying each other. And that brings me to my next point. The solar activity has been so incredibly intense. And the sun, as well as our entire universe, we're all upgrading. Planet Earth is one of them, all the others are doing it too. And the sun is so accelerated now. It's really like super expanded, and it's ready to burst. And we have all these magnetic storms, the solar tsunamis, flares, maybe flash events coming. And what that brings is... and they're just showing me different stars, planets, and the outer regions of our universe are able to stream in through that diamond core crystal of the 22 galaxies. There is a higher beam, and they're also saying, and that's just what's coming in right now, with the diamond light of the 22 galaxies, they're focusing at the moment all the 22 galaxies, as well as the various interdimensional high councils, their highest frequency into that diamond, and that's radiating throughout the universe. And it's especially targeted to the 7 spiritual suns, and very much so our physical earth, our physical sun that's closest to Earth. And that is, and I can see that now, it's a much vaster range of light codes than I've ever seen before. And I'm looking there because that's always when I get information, I gaze somewhere and then the information streams in. And there are 12 and beyond rays representing it, also with the expanding light body capacities, the new chakras that are coming in and coming online. And these frequencies are also targeting each dimension differently. 3D is really rattled and destabilized, and it feels like it's just shaking loose, and more is going to come. And I feel also more people are like, I'm ready for it, you know, bring it on. I don't feel that collective resistance that I felt so strongly up until very recently, where the majority of the collective that was still very invested into 3D, they're almost like, you know what, whatever. You know, and that whatever energy is helping to loosen the grip of those who are in 3D, and it's helping them to go into 4D. In 4D, these extreme solar light codes is like making everything in 4D far more vivid. And for some, they may confuse 4D with 5D, because it's like, whoa, I mean, I can't take drugs because I get so much anyway. But only from what I heard, what people experience, those lucid dreams and all those hallucinations or journeys you have when you're on a trip, that's kind of 4D now. It's far more vivid and also more attractive than before, because it was quite dark and distorted at times, and this extreme polarity between light and dark, and now it feels like it's reaching a higher level on that rainbow, and it shows a different spectrum of colors. And my guides say, don't make it sound too exciting so people don't explore it and get stuck there, because the aim is really 5D and beyond. So yeah, and I think it is like with drugs. You can get off on a trip and then get addicted to it and want more of that trip. But actually, when you're out on the other side and had a nice experience, whatever, and then feel like, wow. And that can also help you to open up to more 5D. So when you're in this 4D vividness, it's like knowing this is just part of my journey. So I'm kind of halfway up the mountain, but it's not the top of the mountain, so I have to keep going. And then they're saying it can also open your system to more expanded abilities, frequencies, and ancient abilities are waking up more. And I felt that as well, where you feel like, wow, you know, I've been to Peru 10 years ago, and now I feel like even things that happened there, it's a new acceleration of my codes and frequencies in Peru and Bolivia, ancient lifetimes, codes, and it just happened the last couple of days, and it's going to accelerate. So really feel free to open your system for that acceleration that's taking place. And some of you, I just see they're getting a flash of light coming in a spiral from above in really random places, or random because you may stand unknowingly on a crystal grid crossing, and the energy is amplified, and you're open, you're checked in by your guides. Do you want that acceleration? And boom, it's happening. And yesterday I had my next specialist appointment with the dentist, and I wasn't sure how I would look like today, if I would have a swollen face again or not, and I haven't, so I'm here to make a video. And thank you as well for all the lovely birthday wishes. That was such a pleasure to receive, and thank you for all of your comments with the videos. So I'm really, really grateful these videos resonate with you, and I'm so excited to keep going. And with that, so after the dentist, I felt so strongly guided. There was a little bit of sunshine to go one of my favorite spaces. And I parked very near a church unconsciously. And then boom, I had one acceleration after another. And now I understand what they mean. So sometimes there is a potential where you suddenly feel guided to go somewhere, do something. You may not fully understand it, and things unfold more, because many of you are already intuitive in your flow. But what they're saying is now, right, with the new chakras linking into the crystalline grid of Gaia and into the heart of Gaia, with the other one, the solar and the stellar gateway, even making that merge. So you're far more connected with the above and the below, and there's probably a chakra, either the alter meo or going straight into the skull. That means the higher dimensions, you and Gaia, are now being much more synced up. And that's why you can get those spontaneous accelerations more easily than ever before. And I didn't know that until this very second when it's coming in. So I'm really excited to understand these new chakras more. And that's why we're also feeling, those of you who are anchoring this highest timeline, who are open to open and activate these new chakras, you may even feel extra sensitive, extra frail, and easily overwhelmed, highly sensitive, and say, oh my God. Because there's an increased cleansing taking place, and it's like an inner vortex that's spiraling out anything that doesn't serve anymore. And even the deepest, long-standing issues can be cleared. like, it's almost like, it feels like an inner tornado. And you know how a tornado demolishes anything in its radar, but this one is a higher dimensional tornado, demolishing all the false programming. And with this water-fire dynamic, it was mental, it was emotional, and this personal power. What's coming now with the air-earth dynamic, that's the new moon igniting that air-earth dynamic. And that's our mental body will be cleansed, our belief system, mental programming, anything that 3D programming has implanted there for a long, long time, and this disconnect from Earth. So this, oh my God, I can't connect with Earth, it's a planet, it might be beautiful. And many who are on a higher level, who can't connect with Earth, also have been there in times when they've seen, oh, that was very special and sacred, and saw it destroyed. For me, it was always like, I had many lifetimes as a druid, and seeing my trees and best friends being eradicated in order to build a church. And then, you know, the energy is still here. And I've been in a cathedral in Edinburgh, and this massive beech tree energy. And I thought, oh my God, you're still here. And it's like, yeah, of course, our energy is still in the ethers. We've never left. And that kind of brought some peace to my heart. So if you yourself have different energies where you saw great destruction of something being dear to you, and we had famine and all sorts and fires, and these catastrophe energies are now being cleansed. So you may even feel, oh my God, things are going to get worse. And those fears, and I was almost to say paranoia. It is a paranoia in the sense it's not going to happen, whereas it feels extremely real because those frequencies are triggered. And with this new chakra, that's again that tornado who's demolishing those ancient negative experiences to clear that true vibration of where we're actually at. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask me questions. And now I've said so much. Let's see what light language is coming in. You may want to close your eyes, connect with your heart chakra, and see who's coming in. Iuya namaha, Iuya namaha, Ia ishkakanama, Ia ishkakanama, Ia nananamasa, Ia nananamasa, Ia kanama, Ia kanama, Isanama, Isanama, Miwana hamaka, Miwana hakanama, Miwai nisasa, Miwai sisina, Miyaki hihina, Miyaki hihina, Miyashkakanasa, Iwa kikina masa, Iwa kikina masa, Iwa kikina namasa, Hiwa shishina masa, Hiwa shishi kikina namasa, Ikikina sasamaha, Ikikina samaha, Kiwi I shishinaha, Kiwi I shishinamaha, Siakakanamaha, Siakakanamaha, Ikiki sisinamaha, Ikiki sisinamaha, Miwi nanamasa, Miwi nanamasa, Kia sasanamaha, Kia sasanamaha, Kia sasanamaha, Kia sasa ishkia hahanama, Ishkia hahanama, Niuya namaha, Niuya namaha, Iuya namaha, Iuya namaha, Om. Om. Iwakakana namasa. Iwakakana namasa ikihina. Hiwakikina namasa. Hiwakikina namasa. Isisina namaha. Isisina namaha. Kiasa sa sha inini kanaha. Shiakiki inina maha. Siakaka nama. Siakaka namaha. Yes, kiki, shiakaka na I na masa. Siakiki na. Siakiki na. Isisi ananana kasana maha. Kasana maha. Shiakaka, shiakaka, shiakaka. Akakaka, akakaka. Hiakakaka namasa. Yue sisi namaha. Yue sisi namaha. Akakaka, akakaka. Blessed it be, so mote it be. So it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, that was really exciting, lovely energy coming in. So the first part was really deeply healing the divine feminine, an overall soothing of all of our energies, male or female. And it was the awakening of our inner power as the divine feminine, opening our hearts, our womb space further, allowing ourselves to express our inner truth lovingly. And then the divine masculine is also being recalibrated, opening to their innate abilities, the role of the protector, the companion, the opening of their fields to much higher divine wisdom, and that's opening each other for divine union to occur in a much more relaxed manner. So that's really good news for everyone in a relationship on the twin flame pathway. We are finding our way towards one another again in a very expanded accelerated way, and then the higher beings came in to recalibrate our system, bring in lightness and joy. And that was one thing they've remembered me, I should mention. Yeah, and the tree, my beloved tree, the cedar tree, came in, and he said something earlier, and he said, you know, we had here a very, very cloudy, overcast, cold, rainy August. And he said, really take note of those sweet moments, even if it's micro moments. And the picture he's given me, you know, on a dry or on a really wet day, it's so hard to get a fire going. And sometimes you just have that very little glimmer. And he said, when you put dry paper and twigs to it, you can create a fire. And he said, the paper and the twigs is your attention. It's really putting your loving attention and intention into those moments and let that feeling expand within you. So you can expand those micro moments into longer periods. You can fill up your inner system from what feels like this. You can make it bigger and bigger for it to resonate longer through you. And he said that's a skill set we will need for the next coming months. It feels like it's also, he's saying right now, you're still in control of your destiny. It's just turning the dial up for what you want to experience. If there's little given, you really make the most of it, and that expands and already helps you to attract other energies. So I think this has been one of my longest videos yet. So thanks for bearing with me for so long. I wish you a wonderful start in September. Enjoy that new moon portal into much lighter, brighter frequencies. And I'll see you soon again. Bright blessings to you. Thank you.